Right, welcome, ladies and gents. So this is a little bit of a, pain in the backside because these kind of articles come out and loads of individuals say it's confirmed, and you go by a trade. I mean, it's not actually confirmed at this point in time. You will never fully know the truth. This is the situation, right? You'll never fully know the truth. But this is part of a large article by Deadline, which actually insinuates that Henry Cavill's Man of Steel wasn't good to go. And he took it upon himself to just jump over on, I think it was Instagram, where he said, I'm back. I'm going to be back. And, essentially what everyone suspected, confirming that he's Man of Steel again. And this article, like I said, goes into that and says, well, he just took it upon himself. There was no mandate, etc. But we don't know this. None of this is confirmed. But I mean, in the interest of covering these things, we have to cover it when there's a rumour coming out that apparently Henry Cavill took it upon himself. But I think, as we dive into this, there's a few things to consider, which is important. How much does Henry Cavill love the fans? Yeah, quite a lot. How much does, how much is he a fan of the properties that he works on? Yeah, quite a lot. Would he do anything to jeopardise, would he be doing anything specific to jeopardise all of that? No, probably not. And I think that's important. I think they are very important elements to consider whilst we take a look at this, because I don't see that being the case. I don't see Henry Cavill being an individual to sit there and spout off a bunch of this stuff without any confirmation or without even some semblance of it, like a handshake. I just don't. And this isn't confirmation. This is just speculation from sources as much as the next thing. And when I do a video, even though I 100% trust my sources, you'll always hear me go, you can consider this 99.9%. I'm never going to say it's 100% because you just can't. It's wrong. It's a complete lack of journalistic integrity, unless you've spoken directly to the people involved. So there's a lot in here, and I think really the take home, in fairness, is that, they are going to be probably scrapping Wonder Woman 3, and as it is, but it can still continue moving forward. And the other stuff is really about Henry Cavill, or an interesting element of it. So we sort of scroll down. They say those three actors and Black Adam's Dwayne Johnson are repped by WME, and a complete turnover of DC stars by Warner's would put them in check to a big agency. No one is getting ready to go to war. So this is the other thing. They are literally saying, well, no, these load of people are not really, WME. They're not really going to get frustrated so much so that they're going to say, no, see you later. Now, Gunn sought to ease the information today. He took to Twitter and basically said, we will be continuing what has worked, and what hasn't will not be continued. Which says a lot. Whether that's financially or otherwise. We don't know. Again, the statement is, we know we're not going to make every single person happy every step of the way, but we can promise everything we do is in service of the story and in the service of DC characters we know you cherish, and we cherished our whole lives. And then again, the element of etc, etc. Now, here's the interesting stuff. Man of Steel 2. And the whole Henry Cavill of it. So before Gunn and Safran even arrived, it was DeLuca and Abdi's decision with Johnson. This is with Dwayne Johnson, to get him in there. To put Cavill's Superman at the end of Black Adam. To give the Dark movie an uplifting, exciting cliffhanger. No regrets there. Cavill is managed by Danny Garcia, who also reps former spouse Johnson, and there had been some championing for some time by Cavill's team for the actor to return as the Man of Steel, a role he took on in the Zack Snyder directed 2013 version, which did $668 million worldwide, and continued in 2016's Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, and 2017's Justice League. So Cavill, we hear, again, this is not confirmation, took it upon himself to announce his return as the Man of Steel on Instagram on October 24th. The day before Safran and Gunn were named as heads of DC. Now, if he did that, that's fairly smart, to be honest. DeLuca, I mean, again, consider the environment around all of that. James Gunn announces he's on as CEO, tweets out an image of Superman. The optics are not bad, even if this is the truth. The optics are actually in favour of his decision to do that. And if you can come up with some mental gymnastics to say otherwise, put it down below. But the optics are actually positive that Henry Cavill did this, because anything from James Gunn, he's been posting quite a lot about Superman, in fact. But anyway, DeLuca and Abdi, before the duo's arrival, heard a pitch from Man of Steel producer Charles Roven and a writer. Now, they didn't like it and wanted to wait for Safran and Gunn's plan to come into place. Hence, Man of Steel 2 never was greenlit. Didn't have a director, nor was it packaged. Capiche? Man of Steel 2 remains an open slot until the studio hears a better pitch. That's always been the case. That's always been the case. We even had... The Hollywood Reporter, and I think it may have even been Deadline, announced this in a previous article where they said Man of Steel 2 is being fast-tracked. Now, it hadn't been greenlit at that point in terms of, oh, we've got a script, because they were still looking for a writer. But they had a producer on board, and it was a priority. And then you also have David Zaslav's comments about wanting to make a Superman movie. That was on the earnings call. The optics are not... They're not what people were making them out to be, incredibly negative. They're not at all. So there was... Man of Steel 2 has never officially been greenlit from a perspective of, we've got a script. And Abdi and DeLuca waiting for James Gunn and Safran to come on board, that's not a huge stretch either. That's not a massive surprise. Of course they're going to. Why would they greenlight something that the new CEOs could just potentially scrap anyway? What would be the point? Utter nonsense. But anyway, over the Thanksgiving holiday stretch, Johnson revealed in a video that he fought hard with Warner's to bring Cavill back. Johnson said Warner's inexplicably and inexcusably did not want to bring Cavill, but he was not going to take no for an answer, and his team got to work. This has been years in the making regarding bringing Henry Cavill back, and years of strategic conversations, and we were not going to take no for an answer, Johnson said. There was no way. There's no viable, logical way that you can attempt to build out the DC universe without the most powerful force and the greatest superhero of all time sitting on the sidelines. It's impossible to do. And then they say this, what about the Flash ending with Cavill? Yes, Cavill shot it. There's something involving Clark Kent with additional cameos by Supergirl, Aquaman and Wonder Woman in the film. However, the studio right now is sitting on these options until its execs confer with Safran and Gunn. Again, it's all about what are we going to be doing moving forwards. None of this is a huge stretch. And scrapping everything that's been built up until this point is probably a really bad monetary decision. From multiple reasons. And they have to come up with a decision on what to do with The Flash anyway, because, it's a film that's already been shot and they've sunk quite a lot of money into it. And you got to remember, like Warner Brothers Discovery now is like 50 billion in debt. It's quite a lot, substantial amounts of money. But I don't take, this whole Man of Steel situation, I don't take that as the massive negative it is. If he did take it upon himself to just announce it and nothing's been confirmed, well, the optics are great. The optics are in his favour. No one's come out and poo-pooed it. At all. No one's come out and said, shut up, Henry Cavill. Nope. All been positive statements, actually. Photos, images of Superman. And Henry Cavill himself, he's not going to do anything to jeopardise that. He would have a positive base to work from, I believe. But there you go. Just a quick update on this DC nonsense. Leave your thoughts down below. I'd be genuinely keen to hear. I'm sure there'll still be people trying to argue about it, but, if you can come up... tell me how the optics look bad. Nothing looks bad here. Nothing looks like Henry Cavill is going to be sacked for all time. Nothing. Literally nothing at all. And nothing saying Man of Steel 2, being a film that's not been greenlit. That's always been the case. The statement was they're fast-tracking it, i.e., and literally stated, they've got a producer, they're looking for a writer. Don't see that as... that's not a contradict. Nothing is contradicted here at all.